Hey everyone, ready for something kind of different? We're going to dive into this idea of building a business that can actually run itself. A business that you could even, sell one day.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. The whole point is to have a business that basically just makes money without needing you there all the time. Gives you a lot more freedom, right?
Totally. And today, we're getting all our insights from this YouTube video that breaks down the book Built to Sell.
Right.
They use this story about a guy named Alex Stapleton to illustrate how it all works. He runs an advertising agency.
Yeah, it all starts with figuring out what that core thing is that your business does really well, something that can really grow.
Okay, so about this core product idea, the video mentions three things it needs to have.
Uh-huh.
It needs to be something you can teach other people to do, something valuable that customers will pay for, and something you can do over and over again.
Exactly. All three are super important if you want something that can scale. In the story, Alex has kind of a hard time with this at first. I mean, he's used to doing all kinds of different things for his clients.
Makes sense.
But his mentor, Ted, helps him see that what he's really good at is making these high-end strategic logos. Get this. He charges 10,000 euros for each one.
Whoa, 10,000 euros for a logo. Guess that covers the valuable part. But isn't it risky to just focus on logos when there's so much other work he could be doing? I mean, even his biggest client isn't using his logo design services right now.
That brings us to the second lesson. Don't try to be everything to everyone, specialize. Sounds counterintuitive, but it makes a lot of sense when you think about it.
How so?
Well, when you're spread thin trying to do everything, you might not do any one thing really well. If you specialize, you can become a real expert and offer something top quality. Plus, you get more efficient.
I see, yeah. Become the go-to person for that one thing. But wouldn't that make your customer base smaller?
Not necessarily. Think about Southwest Airlines. They only use Boeing 737s.
Okay.
Now, you might think that limits them, but it actually makes them crazy efficient. They know those planes inside out, saves them money, and their passengers get better service.
That's a good point. It's like focusing your energy, getting really good at one thing.
Right. In the long run, specializing can actually make you more appealing to the right customers.
Makes sense. It's like attracting the people who really value what you're offering.
Yeah.
But what about the risk of having just one big client?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in the video, Alex's biggest client is like 40% of his income.
This is a big one, and it leads to the third lesson. Diversify. It's all about not putting all your eggs in one basket. If that one client goes away, you could be in trouble, right?
Yeah, totally. Makes the business look risky.
Exactly, especially if you want to sell it someday. No buyer wants that kind of risk.
Makes total sense.
Yeah.
Shows how stable and resilient the business is.
This is something everyone listening should think about too. How much of your income is from just one or two clients?
Absolutely.
Maybe it's time to branch out a little, huh? For sure. Something to think about. Now, to make a business really sellable, you got to change how you think about it. You need to go from offering customized services to actually selling a process, a system, like a product. This is lesson 4, and it's where things get interesting.
So basically, Alex needs to stop doing things differently for each client and create a system anyone can follow.
Exactly. He has to package his knowledge into a product, something he can sell repeatedly. That's exactly what he does with his logo design process. He breaks it down into 5 steps. So it's not him doing the work every time. He's selling a system that gets results consistently.
So he's basically turning what he knows into something tangible, a real product he can sell again and again.
Exactly. And that takes us to lesson 5, making the business work without you.
Ah, the dream. A business that runs itself.
Right. And it's not just about the product. It's about writing down everything you do. Sales, marketing, how you get new clients, how you handle projects, all of it.
Okay, I'm following.
Think of it like building a machine that runs smoothly even if you're not there watching it.
Now that sounds amazing. Being
Yeah.
able to step away without everything falling apart.
Right. But how does this make money? I mean, in the video, Alex had cash flow problems, right?
Yeah, he did.
That brings us to lesson 6, getting paid up front. Ted uses this to show the difference between getting paid for services and getting paid for products.
Okay, tell me more about that because I'm curious.
Well, think about it. When you buy a product, you pay for it before you get it, right? But when you hire someone for a service, you usually pay after they've done the work.
Right, that makes sense.
Alex needs to start charging like a product-based business.
So instead of sending an invoice after designing the logo, he should ask for payment before even starting. But won't clients be resistant to that? I mean, they're used to paying after the work is done.
Some might hesitate, yeah. But think about the benefits for Alex. It means predictable cash flow, which is huge for any business, especially a small one.
That's true.
It also makes him look more like a real product-based company, makes his offer seem more credible.
I see. Like he's so confident in his process that he's not afraid to ask for the money up front.
Right. It's a whole different mindset that can make a huge difference when you're trying to build a business you can sell. And this ties into lesson 7, which is all about choosing your projects carefully. Sometimes you even have to say no to things that look like good opportunities.
Yeah, that's tough. It's hard to turn down work, especially when you're trying to grow. Why would Ted tell Alex to say no to a big ad campaign, even if it means a lot of money?
It's all about staying focused and building credibility. By sticking to logo design, Alex becomes known as the expert. Think about it from a client's perspective.
Yep.
If he's taking on any project that comes his way, it kind of dilutes his expertise. But when he's consistently focused on logos, it shows commitment, makes him more attractive to the people who need logos, right?
It's so quality over quantity. And I bet that makes him look good to potential buyers too. Like he has a clear vision, proven results.
Absolutely. It's about building a brand around what you do best. Now, even with a great product, you need a way to reach customers and make consistent sales to actually sell the business. That's where lesson 8 comes in.
Okay, what is it? Tell me.
It's all about having a system in place for sales that brings in leads and closes deals without you having to do all the work. For Alex, Ted tells him to hire not 1, but 2 salespeople.
2. Why 2? Just to have more people, or is there more to it?
It's not just about numbers, it's about creating a competitive environment. They can
FEE.
push each other to do better. Plus, it shows that the sales process can be repeated, that it's not just one person who can do it.
I see, yeah. So a potential buyer wouldn't worry that it all hinges on one superstar salesperson. Makes sense. But what kind of salespeople should Alex be looking for? I mean, selling a product like this, it's got to be different from selling services, right?
Absolutely, and that's lesson 9. You need someone who knows how to sell a product, not just a service. Ted compares 2 salespeople to show this. Blake, who comes from a traditional ad agency, and Angie, who sells cell phones, and she's really good at it.
Okay, so Blake is like the service guy, and Angie is the product pro. How do their approaches differ?
Blake is all about customizing solutions for each client, being flexible. Angie, on the other hand, sells a standardized product. She focuses on showing the value of the product and finding the right customer for it. She doesn't change the product for every person.
Gotcha. So Alex needs someone more like Angie who can present his logo design process as the solution, not something that needs to be adjusted for every client.
Exactly. It's a subtle but important difference in how they think about selling. This is relevant for our listeners, too. Think about who you're hiring. Are they people who can sell a set process, or are they stuck in that service mindset?
Yeah, it's important to consider, especially if you want your business to grow. Now, when it comes to selling the business, how do you show buyers that it's worth the money?
That's lesson 10. Figure out your market potential. Buyers want to see predictable income. It's not enough to have a good product. You got to show there's a demand for it that's going to last.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you measure something as abstract as market potential?
Ted walks Alex through a market analysis. First, they look at how many businesses in their area could actually afford Alex's logos, the ones that cost 10,000 euros. It's all about defining your target market, figuring out how big it is.
So they're basically figuring out how many potential customers there are, but how do you turn that into, like, actual revenue numbers?
They look at Alex's past sales.
Okay.
Out of 80 leads, he closed 2 deals. That's a 2.5% closing rate. Using that and the size of their target market, they can start to project how much money they might make.
So if they know how many potential customers are out there and their closing rate, they can estimate how many logos they'll probably sell. And at 10,000 euros each. Yeah, that adds up fast.
Exactly. It's all about painting a clear picture for potential buyers. By showing how big the market is and that the business can make good money, Alex makes his business look way more appealing.
Makes sense. It's like a compelling story supported by data. It's cool how all these lessons build on each other. It's like building a strong foundation for a successful business.
That's a great way to put it. And the last lesson, lesson 11, it might seem small, but it actually makes a big difference in how buyers see the business.
What is it? I'm curious.
It's about the words you use. Ted notices Alex keeps calling the people he works with clients. He suggests using customers instead.
Is there really a big difference between the two? They both mean the people buying from you, right?
Yeah, they both mean the people you do business with, but the feeling is different. Think about it. Service businesses usually talk about clients, while product businesses talk about customers.
Ah, I get it. Using the word customers makes it seem like Alex is selling a standardized product, not just offering personalized services.
Exactly. It's a small change, but it can really change how buyers see the business. Makes it look like there are systems in place and that the owner isn't needed for everything to run. Shows scalability and stability, things buyers like.
So it's not just about what you do, but how you talk about it, huh? Language shapes how people see things. This is good for our listeners too. Check the words you're using on your website, marketing stuff, proposals. Are you coming across as a service or a product?
It's a good thing for anyone running a business to look at. Now, looking back at all 11 lessons, what do you think is the most important for building a sellable business?
Honestly, I think the most important and probably the hardest thing to actually do is making the business run without you.
Yeah.
It's changing your thinking from doing the work to designing the system, writing down your processes, training your team, building something that can run without you always watching over it.
Yeah, totally agree. That's where the real freedom is for both the owner and the person who might buy the business. It's building a business that works for you, not the other way around.
That's a great way to put it, and a great point to wrap things up on. Just imagine being able to walk away from your business, knowing it'll keep running smoothly, making money. What would you do with that freedom?
That's the question, isn't it? Travel, more time with family, maybe work on a passion project. Building a business that doesn't need you isn't just about profits, it's about having choices, being flexible.
It's about creating a business and a life that fits your goals and values. Hope this deep dive gave you some things to think about. Maybe it even inspired you to start building a business that can thrive without you.
Remember, it's a journey. It takes time, effort, and you gotta be open to new ideas. But it's worth it.
Keep learning, keep experimenting, and keep pushing yourself to build a business that really helps you achieve your dreams. Until next time, happy building.